Hello, guys. I'm Caio, and today we are here again in collaboration with our partner and colleague David from Locksmith Keyless. Hello, David. How are you doing?
Hello, Kyle. How are you? I'm great, man. Everything's fine.
Perfect. We are here today in the second live streaming to talk about the XP400 from the manufacturer Autel. The last week we talked about the IM608 Pro and all the functions that we have in the device. And today we are here to talk about the accessories we have with the XP400, with the 608 and the 508. That is the XP400 Pro. We will talk about the functions, what we can do, what we cannot do, what is this device, and why we need to have it. Right, Davi?
Yeah, correct. Yeah, just to point out that that device can be used mainly with in three modalities: combined with a 608, which is the most powerful combination, combined with a 508, and as a standalone product as well.
That's it. We will show to you guys today how we work with the 508, and the same way we are working with the 508, we can work on the 608. And then at the end, we will show how to work on the computer in the standalone mode with the software on the PC. All right, how to download it and how to use it. So, as we talk about, the XP400 will be used to pre-code the keys when we need to do a key programming. Right, talking about the key programming right now. The same function will be used on the 508 and on the 608. We can read keys, we can write keys, and we can reuse the keys. For example, if we program a key for a BMW 2015, for example, we can reset the key and use again in another car. It's one function that we can use with the XP400 Pro. For another example, when we need to go to program a key for a Volkswagen Golf, right? We need to write some information on the key, and then we need to put on the XP400 as well. Without the XP400, we cannot do key programming on brands like Volkswagen, Audi, BMWs, and Mercedes-Benz is the most important. All right, let me show you guys how to work, how it's work. All right, the XP400 on the device. Let me just share the screen, Davi, if you want to talk something. Meanwhile, I just open my team viewer.
Yeah, no, in this case, today we're going to show you how to work with a 508, which is a combination that is not very common for people to know about. People only assume that the XP400 Pro can be used with a 608 because you already have it included when you buy the machine. But in this case, this is a combination that you can also have. You just need to acquire the 608, then the XP400 Pro, and they are a complete and perfect match. Also, when you combine it with the other accessories, the G-Box 2 and the APB 112.
Sure, and I can show it to you guys before connect to the device. I will show you what came inside of the XP400, what we can use with the XP400 if we buy separately from the device, as we need to buy from the 508. The same kit came inside of the 608 as well. All right. So let me just show to you guys. I'm just checking here. Let me come back to the screen. Here I am. So here we are. So here we have our main device. This is the XP400 Pro. All right. This version is the version we need to use with the with the 508. Why? Because we buy it separately like this. It comes in this suitcase. All right. In this case. And inside we have this. Let me open here. What we have inside, right? Let me just put here. Here we have. So the XP400 came here. We have a lot of cables and PCBs and everything that we need to read. For example, an EEPROM and an MCU and all the cables. When we need to take out the EEPROM from the PCB, from the main board, or when we need to do a reading in circuit, when we need to solder the cables on the PCB, right? For example, we have the cable, the APA109. All right, as you guys can see here, this cable, Autel will tell us when we need to use it. But I'm talking about EEPROM, MCUs, cables, when to use, when not to use. Um, why I need to have this? Why I need to use the XP400? For example, if we need to read some immobilizers from Mercedes and the device is not working or the car is not working by OBD, we need to take out a piece from the car. It calls the AES. We take out and we read on bench. We read on the bench, on the working bench. Then we need some cables to do it. So the cable Autel will tell us to use will be the APA109, for example. I will show you guys some examples, what I'm talking about, but that's why we need to use the XP400 when we need to use the XP400, right? For example, to do an all-key loss situation for a Mercedes, or when the OBD from the car is just not working, and then we need to give some solution for our customer, and that's the solution: taking out and reading on bench. All right, and it came with a lot of cables that we need to use in some different jobs. All right, it came as well with the cable to do the Mercedes programming. When we have communication by OBD, we have this cable, all right, that we need to insert on the AIS from Mercedes. We have a lot of more cables here. For example, one of the biggest fears from the locksmiths and from the guys who works with the EEPROMs on PCB is to take out the EEPROM from the PCB. Why? Because we need to give a lot of hot air to the PCB, and it can broke the PCB. Basically, what we have in Autel develops a clamp that we connect on the XP400, and then we can use the little clamp to just put on the top of the EEPROM and read the information directly just with this clamp. We don't need to take out from the PCB. All right. So more cables. Just let me just put it here and here. What more we have with the XP400? We have a lot more stuff. For example, some PCBs that we need to use to read some old models from different models, immobilizers, comfort models, ECUs, engine control units. So everything more old. We have a lot of PCBs here that Autel will tell us when to use it and when not to use, of course, because or we need to use the PCBs, or we need to use the cables, or we need to take out the EEPROM from the PCB and read with some adapter that Autel will give us what is the device what is the adapter that we need to use. That's what came inside of the XP400, as well as in this kit and in the XP608 Pro as well. It's the same kit, came everything the same, just here and in the 608 Pro. David, do you remember something else that I'm missing?
No, from the unboxing, yeah, it's just to point out the XP400 Pro, you can use it, the EEPROM functions. Not only, it doesn't have to be always soldering modules, so you can use other functions that doesn't include that risk of destroying a board, or sometimes locksmiths, they don't want to go through that process and they are afraid of that, so they lose those jobs. They lose the opportunity to do those kind of jobs that usually are one of the most profitable. When you're going to do a BMW or a Mercedes, well, in this case BMW, that's a big opportunity, a big ticket, and people just miss that just out of fear because they don't know how to use it properly. And I mean, sometimes if you have to solve and you want to avoid that, that's okay. But there are
Sorry, let me just put you on screen.
No, don't worry.
That's you.
There are other type of jobs in which you don't need to sew anything. You just need to unscrew and put it back together again. That's it. You just need to remember some basic steps to disassemble a module and to put it back together, but you don't need to mess it around with soldering or heat or anything. You just need to follow simple steps. And
That's
my
it. And I will show some simple steps here right now on the device on the 508. That will be the same as the in the 608. So let me show you guys. Let me just share my screen. Let's share my screen. Just open it. Can you guys see it, right? Nope.
Yeah.
And now? Can you see my screen, David?
Yes. Yeah, I can see it.
Okay. So when we go, let me just making sure that everyone is seeing my screen. But everyone is seeing just the team viewer or the 508 screen?
I'm seeing the team viewer.
And right now?
Yeah, it's still team viewer. Now I can see the.
Okay.
508.
Great. So let me just put it on full screen. Okay. So when we are here on our software, the XP400 we will always use on the programmer function. So let me just put here more bigger because I think it's here. Yeah. So when we need to use the XP400 and when we need to show or read some EEPROM or some MCU or some module, we need to go always on the programmer function, the blue button on the top of the screen. We just press on the programmer, we accept. The device will check if the XP400 is updated, and it's updating right now. Every time Autel give us some new software to download, it will update automatically the XP400 Pro. It's very, very, very important to maintain your device updated because Autel is always giving repairing something or creating new softwares to do our job. So 90%, it's almost done. And I have here some keys as well to read, to show to you guys that the device can read keys, can reprogram keys, can read modules, and everything. So here we are. Here we go to the chip apron MCU when we need to read the modules, or we need to read some MCU or EEPROM. So just press it. Go chip read and write. Here. So if you guys don't know what to do and you have the module on your hands and you need the diagram and how to read it, you go directly for immobilizer when it's about the immobilizer from the car. So let's go for immobilizer. Then, for example, let's go for Chrysler. And let's read some 300C. Okay. Here we have both parts from the MCU that we need to read, the EEPROM or the flash. Actually, when we need to do some immobilizer functions, we need to read the EEPROM. All right. So when we need to read the EEPROM, we have schematic diagram. It will show us how to read it. Autel will go online. We'll download the file. That's very important. The devices don't work without internet. The device will work, but 90% of the functions will not be used. So please, always keep your device connected to the internet. It's very important. Okay, here, for example, we have a picture from the module. In this case, it's the ignition coil. It's the same. It's the same model. As you guys can see here on the left, you have the coil, and here you have the PCB. As you guys can see, you have the cables that you need to use. You have the colors where you need to solder the cable. It's for this unit, you need to solder 4 cables in order to read the EEPROM that contains the information from the immobilizer that you need to use to generate a new key, a new transponder. All right? And on your right side of the screen, you have an operation guide that will give you the steps you need to do in order to read it properly. It will tell you what the cable you need to use. All right, what is the adapter you need to use? Is the XP400Pro as well. So that's it. For example, let's go for another car. David, give me some car to show to them. A Journey, for example.
Dodge, yeah, or some BMW as well.
Okay, let's go for BMW, for example.
The
Let's go
specialty,
for
yeah.
BMW. BMW, we have like the CAS 3 Plus. In CAS 3 Plus, it will show us the same. What we need to do to read inside of the MCU, the EEPROM or the flash. EEPROM, for example. Schematic diagram. As you guys can see, the screen is almost the same, always. When you need to have the schematic diagram, just press schematic diagram, and Autel will give you how you need to solder the cables. So let's just wait. And the same screen. On your right side, you have the operation guide, the step-by-step you need to do, the cable you need to use, and on your left side, you have a picture from the model. That's the CAS from BMW. And if you just... And you have here a very good high-resolution picture that shows you where to solder, which color of the cable you need to use. All right. Autel will give you all the instructions on how to do the procedure. You don't need to know where to solder the cable. You just need to open the picture and do what Autel is telling you to do, basically. It's pretty easy. And of course, please, every time Autel give you some information, as we have here on our right side in operation guide, please read it to know exactly what you need to do, the cable you need to do, and follow all the steps. All right. With this information, I think it's a great information to give to you guys. In this case, in this CAS 3 Plus with a mask 0M23S, we can clone this unit using this function with the 508 and the XP400 or the 608. We can read the EEPROM, save it. We can read the flash, save it, just buy some new unit or use a unit and write the EEPROM and the flash, and that's it. You have cloned the unit. It's one example, pretty simple, but we can do it with our XP400Pro and the IM508. And that's just two examples. We can go for Chevrolet, for example, and it will give us some models as well. We can read the Cruise immobilizer model, and it's the same way. We go for EEPROM. It will show us the schematic diagram. We just press it. It will go online, download the file that we need to use in order to solder in the PCB. All right, and it's always the same screen. The interface will be the same. And just a reminder, this function of advanced immobilizer, of course, is for the users who are already, how can I tell you this, have a little more experience than a normal locksmith, right, David?
Yeah, correct.
This is
that requires a little more knowledge in the field, but even if you are a new locksmith, you will need some practice. So you can buy some modules from a junkyard and start practicing before doing this on a customer's car. But you need, of course, in this case, it's not as easy as to program something on the OBD just sitting in the car. So in this case, you will need some practical hand manual abilities as well, with the other tools, with soldering, your ability with the detail, and you have to be a pulse, patience. So, but that can be acquired, those abilities, but you need time, and you can do it.
David, when I started in this business, in this profession, the guy let me just put us on the screen a little here. The guy who showed me this word, this profession, the locksmith profession, he tells me, Caio, I will give you this box. It was a box like this, with a lot of modules with PCBs from junkyard. And I was from like 2 or 3 months just soldering every day, 8 hours per day for like 2 months. And that's the way you know how to do it. It's your feeling. You need to practice a lot.
In that way, you will have trust in yourself. So that way, when you are facing a customer car, you don't have fear. You will not doubt yourself, and you know exactly what do you need to do. So that's
Perfect.
the way, correct. Just practice over and over again, and you will get it.
That's it. And here we have another example. Again, one PCB with all the cables that we need to use to solder on the PCB in order to be able to read the EEPROM and the flash. All right. So let's go back. This was a very, very advanced function that we need to use in order to be able to read the immobilizer when the procedure by OBD is not working. All right. It's not always like this. It's important to tell to you guys that never see this profession from locksmith. It's not always like this. It's just when the things don't work by OBD, then you have to use the advanced functions like the XP400Pro in order to read the information from the immobilizer. Okay. Let's go back. Oh, here. So let's go back. So we just take a look on the chip EEPROM MCU ECU functions. So let's take a look on the key function. What is this? So in this function, we can read keys. For example, let me put my screen here and here. So we can read different types of keys. As you guys can see, we have a Bmw key, the old model. All right. We have an flip key. This key is used a lot on our market as well as BMW. And we can read the Mercedes keys as well with our XP400. And one difference that we need to talk is this. When we talk about Mercedes keys, the IM508 cannot read Mercedes keys. Why? Because on the package from the 508, it comes with the XP200, and the XP200 is just to read keys for all the keys, but not the Mercedes keys. So in order to do Mercedes keys, you guys who already have the 508 will need to buy the XP400Pro in order to do the Mercedes keys. Let me just show you guys what is the XP200. Just a second. Here, guys. So here we have the XP200 from the 508, the IM508. So as you guys can see, the difference is big, right? Here we have the hole to put the Mercedes keys, and on the XP200 we don't have the reader from Mercedes keys. We don't have where to put the Mercedes keys because it works by infrared, and this one don't have the infrared reader. All right, that's why you cannot do Mercedes keys with the IM508 without the XP400. You need the XP400 to do the Mercedes keys. All right, so let's go and read some information. to show to you guys some key information. Let me just put my screen back here. So let's start reading Bmw Key. We just need to put on our, let me put here again my screen. We just need to put our key inside of the XP400, all right? And then go to our software and go for key read and write. Just go for automatic detection. As you guys can see here, we have a lot of different types of transponders, but you don't need to know all of them. You have the automatic detection, and it will recognize the key you have inside of the XP400, and will tell you what is the transponder that you have. So just press automatic detection, and let's wait for the information. And here we have all the information. Here we have a chip type PCF7945A. All right. With this information, we know the key is working. The key should be working on the car because we can read it. All right. We have the key ID. The key ID is like the personal information from the key. With this ID we can check if this key is from the car. We will go to do the key programming, for example. But a very common use for this function is to know if the key is working or not, because we have a lot of times that we receive a car, we have a car that we don't know if the key is working or not, if we can read the key or we cannot read the key. With this function, we just put the key inside of the XP400, we try to read it, and if we have some information being read, it's okay. The key should be okay. Okay. David, you want to add something?
No, that function is very helpful in that case. Also to know sometimes you have a key that you think that it works for that car, and you put it in there, and I don't know, for example, with the FOBI keys, which the RAM keys and the Dodge keys are very alike. Sometimes the Jeep keys as well. So you can detect the type of chip, and you know if you have the right key for that car or not. Or you can compare the information that the owner of the car has with the key that you're going to program. If they are different, maybe that means that you are on the wrong direction. Because sometimes somebody calls you, they just want a copy of their key. You buy the key, you arrive to the location, and the owner has an already working key. You read the key that is already working with the car, that is starting the car, locking, unlocking, and then you read your key. If they are different, then something is wrong there. So that's the first step that you need to do before doing anything before touching a car. So that's the function that the XP400Pro provides.
Perfect. So let's try to read more two keys. Let's try to read the Mercedes keys. Just put again on the XP400. In this case, we need to choose the type of the key we are trying to read. On Mercedes, the auto detection function don't work because it have infrared. Okay. In this case, we just go to the last function, and we can see there IR, infrared from Mercedes. Just press it, and just press read key information. It will read the information that contains inside of the Mercedes keys. As well, we have the key ID, and we know this key should be working on the car. All right. Here we have all the information from the Mercedes key. So let's try to read the last key. It's a key from an Audi. It's a TT version of the Audi. Just key. Let's just put our key inside of the XP400 and automatic detection. Let's see what information we have. And if the key don't read, we have some problem with the key. But as you guys can see, it's a Megamos 48. We have information. We have the key ID, and it's locked. It means it should be working on some car. We don't know which car, of course, but it should be working in some car. Okay? So that's a function that is very, very used. We have another function that I personally like a lot, and it's very important. That is the remote detection. How many times a car goes to your workshop and the customer say to you, "Hey, my remote is not working. What is going on?" And you check the battery, you change it, and you press the button, and you don't know if the remote is working or not, right? So here with the XP400 and the 508 or 608, you can check if the remote is working, the remote part is working. How? Just press on remote detection and go for frequency detection. When you press it, you just put the key on your XP400 and press any button. As you guys can see, when you press the button, you have this number on the screen. You have the 350 and 15 megahertz. It means when you press the button, the remote is doing something. The remote is giving you the frequency and should be working on the car. And if you press the button, you have the frequency and the car doesn't work, maybe the problem is in the car. Maybe the remote is not paired with the car. So you can do a diagnostic on the remote in 5 seconds. Just check if the frequency is working or not. All right. Let's just go back. Oh, and the last function that I want to talk about in the XP400, the EEPROM, the soldering part, okay, the advanced part is right key via dump. What is this one? This one is when you need to read the immobilizer, just as we saw it here, reading from the Chrysler as we saw it. We read the information, we back it up on the device, then we go in the right key via dump and we load that file, and it can generate a new key. This function is for this. We just press it. Let me show to you guys. So we use the other function to read and this function to load what we read and generate the new key. I think I explained myself right, Avi?
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, it's very easy to understand, to be honest.
So, for example, we saw it right now, a cast tree. Just go for cast tree here. Just press the MCU that we have there. And we just need to go on load data. Just go on the file that you just read right now and load it here. And then new key on the XP400 and press select the key that we need that you want to write. For example, the key number 3. Just select it and go for make key. It will write the information that is in the key 3 position on the new key. And that's it. You have your spare key done. That's the function that is the write key via dump, by dump. That is, so these functions that we saw it here was the function that we need to use inside of the programmer function on our top. The write key by dump, as we have on our right side of the screen, is what we saw here when we already have the immobilizer read it. So we just read it and load on the write key by dump function. So what more we can talk about? Oh, when the XP400 will be used when we need to do a fiat key. All right, we need to pre-code the key. We need to use the XP400. All right. David, and the last part that I want to show to you guys is the XP400 being used on the computer. So, David, if you have anything to talk about, meanwhile, let me just.
I was going to remind you that we can also use the XP400 Pro as a standalone device, which is, for example, an improvement that you have when you buy the IM608 you're kind of buying two devices in one. So you have the main unit, the 608 alone, and you also have the XP400 Pro, which you have to combine it with the tablet, but you can also use it alone if you have a Windows laptop. So you can use it as well. You have to download the software, put it in there, and just start working, start making keys, and start making progress. So you can have somebody working with a 608 in a car, and then you or a different person also working at the same time with the XP400 Pro in a laptop. So you can combine that function.
Because as we talk about in the last live stream that we do about the 608 Pro, the device is not just only for key programming; it's for diagnostic as well. So you guys who have a workshop that want to have this device, I can show you, and I show to you guys one function that you will have. It's to recognize the frequency from the key, to recognize if the key is working or not working. So you have a lot of stuff that you can do with your diagnostic device. It's not just for diagnosis, it's for the locksmith part of the job as well. Let me just screen here, just share this part of the screen. Just a moment.
Correct. And also, if you can make a general explanation about how is this how this works using the XP400 Pro alone. You have to download a software. Is it free? If you have to pay something.
Sure, sure. Let me talk about a little about this. The XP400 to be used as a standalone device on your computer is completely free. You just need to go when you buy our device from Locksmith Keyless, from us, from you just go for the technical support, and we will tell you how to do it. We just go for the Autel web page. There we have the download part. Inside of the download part, you have the main programmer for the XP400. You have the software that you need to download and install on your computer. It's completely free. You don't need to pay anything else to use this function. Okay.
So in this case, yearly subscription or tokens.
No yearly subscriptions, no tokens. You don't need to pay anything. Just need to have your year updated on your device. Okay. And that's it. And start using your XP400 Pro and your device as well. No tokens. So it's open. Okay. Just a second, please. And let me just share this screen. Okay. Can you see my screen, right?
Yeah.
Okay. It's just updating. Let's just wait. Okay. So let me just... And that's the main software when we go to use the software on our computer, our Windows computer operational system. So how to use it? So in here on our left side of the screen, we just press it and we need to choose what we need to do. We want to read an apron, an MCU, an engine, or immobilizer, instrument panel cluster, remote, airbag, or other functions that Autel have developed. So in this case, when we want to have the picture with the schematic diagram in immobilizer, we just choose immobilizer as well as we have choose in the device. Here is the same. We just press in Audi, and we have here we have all the brands that Autel can read on bench. Let's go as well as we see on the device. Let's go for BMW. Let's go for CAS 3 again. And we just press OK. It will load the program. It's already loaded. And here we have the diagram. We just press it, and here we have it. As you guys can see, we have the same picture that we have in our device. We will have on our computer, on our software. By color, where we need to solder is pretty easy. Just follow the instructions and read it. So we just press OK. When we do the soldering of the cables, we just go for read up here. It will read all the information that will appear here. Once we have all the information here, we just press save, create a new folder, and save there the file from the EEPROM. Then if we need to use in our device, we just need to have a sticker, a little pen drive, just put on our computer, put it there, and then put it here and load the file. It's pretty easy. It's pretty simple to use. Let's show more functions as well as we have here, like I showed to you guys before. For Mercedes-Benz, for example, when we have some older units, we just press here, just to, okay, go for diagram. And here we have the picture of the immobilizer on Mercedes. What we need to do, which cables we need to solder, where we need to solder. Autel will give us all the information. We don't need to know by ourselves where to solder the cables. Autel will tell us where to solder. Okay, that's the function that we need to use on bench. We have a lot more functions, but today I think it was we could talk about, I think, all the functions that we can use in XP400 in general way, right? We don't have time to talk about each one of them, but the main functions I think, David, we talk about.
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, the uses with the XP400 Pro with a 608, with a 508, and along with a laptop. Also the EEPROM function, soldering and without soldering. Also read keys, write keys, and detect the frequency. Those are like the most powerful and general functions of the XP400 Pro. We cover all that. And also, um, these devices, when you compare this to other devices, other programmers, the the quality, the performance, and the price, they are all very convenient, to be honest. So if you check that as well on our website on locksmithkeyless.com or on other websites, you can compare different manufacturers, different brand. You will see that uh, in this case, this brand offers a very good round set of qualities: price, quality, and performance.
That's it. We have until Autel. We got a lot of devices, different prices, and pretty much high prices. All right, to do the same functions as David said, like 6 years ago, to do the same functions, we need to spend like 10,000 K, for example. A lot of money in order to do a key programming, read some ACU, and now with auto devices, we have good quality. You have a high standard device just for a fair price. So I think it's a very, very good. Let's, David, what do you think? Let's answer some questions from the chat. We have here a bunch of questions. Let's read them. You want to talk something else, David?
No, that's okay. Well, yeah, let's see if somebody has any questions and call it a day.
Perfect. We have here again our friend Salman. Hey, Salman, how are you doing? Welcome back. Salman, we talked about the J2534 in the last live stream that we do. You can check in the Locksmith Keyless Facebook page and YouTube page, and in our page as well, in the IATA channel. You can check the old video that we talk about the J2534, the pass-through device. So what more? Oh, that's a very good question for those guys who already are locksmiths. So guys, the G series, the G chassis from BMW is not working. There is no device in the market that can do G series keys from BMW. We just can do the F series. Is the last system that we can do key programming. All right. Let's see more questions. here is a question that is a very tricky question, right? Um, Nissan cars, where we need to pay some annotation. Autel will tell us when we have any risk on the procedure. When we go to read any pin code or we go to read a mobilizer, Autel will tell us, hey, this procedure can damage the unit. Are you sure you want to use it by OBD? Yeah, if you press yes, you are taking the risk because Autel is telling you you have a risk to doing by OBD. In this case, we always tell to the customer to take out the unit and read on bench with our XP400 Pro, as we just saw, we just show to you guys right now. Okay, what more we have here? Saludos para Colombia, ¿qué tal? Oh, here, another good question. Hey, Diego. And we don't have, this is a very common question about the EWS1 on BMW. This system, yes, we can do it, but all the keys without, all the keys from EWS, we need to take out the EWS from the car. We cannot do EWS system from BMW by OBD with any device. No device can do it. We always need to take out the module from the car. What more? Oh, sorry, no, this one. Here we have a question in Spanish. I will just relate it. What is the difference between the 508 and 608? The difference basically is in the software that we have in 608 and 508. The 508 have a basic diagnostic software, and the 608 have an advanced immobilizer function. In the immobilizer part of the device, of the software, both devices are the same. All right? And of course, the 508 don't have the J2534, the pass-through VCI. Okay, the 508 don't have it, and the 608 have it. And I think it's all the questions. Hey guys, if you have any questions, please just put here above on our comment section. And I think that's it. That's it. Oh, here I think I have another question. Oh, it's a very good question in Spanish as well. They're asking, hey, what can we do with the IM608 if we don't pay our subscription, our annual subscription? It's a good question, and the device will lose like 85% of the functions. It's very, very important to maintain the subscription of our device. All right. As well, for the diagnostic and the key programming, we need to maintain our subscription paid. All right, it's an annual subscription, and all the prices and how to do it, you guys can talk with Locksmith Keyless, and they can help you guys in order to solve all these problems. All right. And I think that's it, David. Oh, I think we have another comment. Renault Kangoo, I mean, our friend just asked some special, it's not a special question, but hey, Team Mecha, we need to know exactly which model that we are talking about. All right, just put, I will just message you on the YouTube channel. I think you'd send a message on YouTube. Yep. And you give me some extra information and I can help you. All right. So guys, that's it. David, thank you for being here with us again. Also, another live streaming.
Yeah, to finish, when you pay the subscription for Autel, you are also extending the warranty on the machine. So you have an added value there. I mean, mostly all the scanners, all the manufacturers, they have some kind of subscription because that helps maintain a whole group of technicians who are working in providing you that kind of capability that you have, because these are aftermarket devices. These are not if you are going to buy the manufacturer software and programming, you will need maybe 200,000 or more dollars. So basically, it doesn't make any sense. So in order for these aftermarket devices to have a competitive price, they will have a huge engineering team behind them. That's why each month they're releasing updates, they're having improvement. They couldn't program this car in 2 weeks, now they can do it. So all that is not changing by magic. There is a whole team behind. So that's why it's the whole point of the subscription. That's what supports. It's not the unit, it's the subscription what supports the whole system. And also that's why they encourage you to do that, extending the warranty. So you have the first year you buy the Autel, you use it, and you extend the warranty a second year. You will not have, you're not just paying software and that's it. You're also improving your warranty. So if your unit has an issue, if it start communicating, if a cable, something happened with a cable, you just call Autel or call your supplier, us, or whoever you bought that, which is an authorized dealer, and they will process that for you, and you will receive a replacement. But that's an advantage that you have with that device that you don't have with other devices. That in other devices the warranty is 1 year, and after that you're on your own. With this device, you have the subscription, but you also have an extended warranty.
Perfect, David. Perfect. And that's it, guys. Thank you for watching. And the next week we will be talking about, I think, about the G-Box 2, all right, or the APB 112. Please stay tuned to our channel in Facebook and YouTube, and you need to know, and you will know what we will be talking about in the next week. Thank you, David. Thank you, Locksmith Keyless. I see you guys next week. Bye bye.
Bye, Kyle.